All right, say it with me, folks. Aw, Kristi Noem is having a bad week. You know, first it was reported that she was banned from Mar-a-Lago, even with pure Mar-a-Lago face. Not banned as in a cover charge situation, but banned in the sense that her complimentary membership evaporated the moment she stopped being useful to Donald Trump. And if she wants back in, now she has to pay $1 million initiation fee like a regular person. She went from inner circle darling to the velvet rope outside the club in about 2 weeks. And the best part is she's probably looking at perjury charges now. I'm Josh with the Ring of Fire, and I just want to pause for a second on Mar-a-Lago because I think it captures something important about how Donald Trump and this world works. Kristi Noem spent years auditioning for Trump. She killed her dog and wrote a book about it because she thought it made her look tough. She did the makeup and the surgeries that looked like every person going to Mar-a-Lago. She's went on every cable show that would have her. She was one of the most vocal defenders of Donald Trump before he even won in 2024. She was rewarded with the Homeland Security job. She got the complimentary membership at Mar-a-Lago. She got to be in the room. And the moment she embarrassed Donald Trump in a congressional hearing, the moment that she was no longer useful, the key to Mar-a-Lago stopped working. That's Donald Trump's transactional life. That is always the transaction with Donald Trump. And if you think the people that are currently in that room, the ones that are welcome to Mar-a-Lago, are not one bad week away from the same velvet rope outside, you haven't been paying attention. And things keep getting worse for Kristi Noem. Democrats on the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, Raskin and Durbin, they sent a formal referral to Pam Bondi's Justice Department on Monday, asking for a criminal perjury investigation into Noem's testimony that happened before Congress on March 3rd and 4th, the same testimony that got her fired. And they list 4 alleged lies. Alleged. The $220 million self-deportation ad campaign that featured Kristi Noem. Whether DHS violated court orders directly. Whether ICE detained U.S. citizens illegally. And then the conditions inside the immigration detention facilities. Demonstrably false statements, per the letter, on all 4. And I want to cover all 4 real quick because each one matters. The $220 million ad campaign that featured herself. $250 million of public money on ads that start herself selling the idea of self-deportation. Congress didn't approve it. The ad campaign contract had a no competitive bid process. And when asked about it under oath, she said Donald Trump knew. Donald Trump says he didn't know about it. On court orders, judges across the country have found that ICE ignored court orders to release people from detention. In some cases, holding people for days or weeks after a judge ordered their release. Noem testified that DHS hadn't violated any court orders. About detaining U.S. citizens, ICE has detained American citizens in the course of its enforcement operations, largely from protests. On detention conditions, ICE internal audits, per the Democratic letter, have documented significant failures to meet medical care standards. Noem told Congress everything was fine. And all of the audits that we've seen along the way, they say otherwise. And we've been following this story the entire time. And if you want to see us keep following it, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell. We have got all 5 years of receipts here, and we are going to be here for all of it as it goes forward. And the most delicious contradiction in all of this, though, the one that Trump reportedly lost his mind over, is this. Noem testified under oath that Trump knew about her $220 million ad campaign before she spent the money. She said she ran it by him before she even took office. Trump told reporters that he never knew anything about it. Senator Kennedy, after hearing Noem's testimony, said Trump would have been mad as a murder hornet if he'd actually been told about it. So either Noem lied to Congress or Trump lied to reporters, or both. The answer, knowing that these two people, it's very possibly both. But only one of them got fired the next day. And only one of them is now facing a perjury referral. The other one's up on Air Force One musing about whether or not we should even be in an Iranian war. And I want to say something about the $220 million because that number keeps getting reported. And I'm not sure anyone possibly processes what that amount is. $220 million of federal money spent on TV ads starring Kristi Noem to tell people to deport themselves. That's the use of taxpayer money, your money, my money, that she's accused of lying about under oath. This isn't some line item buried in a supplemental bill. $220 million for ads starring herself. And Congress tried to hold her feet to the fire. She said the president approved it. He said he didn't, and she lost her job the next day. That is where this country is under the Trump regime. And the Democrats, they've acknowledged in this letter with candor that they have low expectations that Bondi would do anything about this. They've said it plainly, given your partisan weaponization of the Department of Justice. But then they noted that the statute of limitations for perjury is 5 years. 5 years meaning a future Democratic administration could still pursue charges. And that's what I'm hopeful for. Man, the first candidate that comes out and says, I'm bringing charges against all of them, they've got my vote. Because they're building the file, they're keeping the receipts, and they are getting the testimony that matters. From people like Kristi Noem, who killed her own dog in a gravel pit, and then wrote about it in a book, thinking that it would help her image and help her career. A woman who stood in front of Congress and lied about $250 million in vanity ads starring herself, and she's paying, or she'd have to pay, $1 million to get back into a club that she got kicked out of. Kristi Noem, she gets to think about that for the next 5 years while those perjury charges hover above her. Her dog's gone, the goat's gone, the job's gone, the membership's gone. But her surgeries and the perjury referral, they stay. That perjury referral sitting on Pam Bondi's desk just like the Epstein list. And the statute of limitations clock, it's running. And somewhere out there, I hope that a future Democratic Attorney General is keeping a very, very detailed list. Doesn't it seem like our feeds are getting filled with more and more BS right-wing MAGA content? It's no secret that all these top tech bros are in love with the current regime, so it's no surprise that independent left-leaning media is being squashed by the algorithm. If you like our content and content like us, it doesn't take long to click that thumbs up, share, comment, or subscribe. So please help us keep the truth alive.